Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight is a masterpiece of cinema. It's rightfully regarded as one of the best comic book movies of all time and has set the standard for a trend in Hollywood that's only going to get bigger and bigger. Apologies to my man Martin Scorsese, but the superhero genre has quite simply taken over the industry. If you're a top actor, then the name of the game is to find a role in a superhero film. Whoa. Let me first off say, Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight is a masterpiece. It is legendary. We have a long way to go until the Batman is set to batarang into theaters, but the anticipation couldn't be higher. That's why today I'm talking about my top 5 reasons why The Batman will be a better Batman movie than Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. The number one reason why The Batman will be better than The Dark Knight is the unique tone. This isn't the Batman you grew up to. The tone of The Batman seems to be a perfect marriage between Christopher Nolan's trilogy and one ripped straight out of the comics. However, Matt Reeves is bringing his own unique interpretation of the Caped Crusader and has been given a top-to-bottom overhaul. Judging from the trailer, Matt Reeves' vision of Gotham is going to be something we haven't seen before. This is clearly a Batman story with heavy roots within a Riddler-based crime drama with a clear and specific demographic: adult comic book fans. In fact, you could put the Batman trailer next to David Fincher's Seven and you wouldn't know the difference. The tone of the Batman is dark, gritty, and downright suffocating. This all resonates in the first scene of the trailer when we see a riddle next to a mutilated corpse. Matt Reeves has said that Roman Polanski's Chinatown, a detective thriller from the 70s that depicts a beaten down LA, as major inspiration for the Batman. This is the perfect stage for Bruce Wayne and more specifically Gotham to shine. When you think of the Dark Knight trilogy, one also goes immediately to the amazing film score by Hans Zimmer. The great Michael Giacchino has signed on to do the film score for the Batman, and judging from everything we've seen so far from the teaser and trailer, everything looks to be pinpoint. From the gritty tone to the upcoming film score by Michael Giacchino, all signs point to this being a breath of fresh air for Batman, his villains, and Gotham to be truly inspired. The number 2 reason why the Batman will be better than The Dark Knight is the villains will be front and center. If you love Batman, then you very well know that Batman features the best collection of villains in any medium. Listen guys, nothing will likely beat Heath Ledger's portrayal of Joker moving forward, period. However, Harvey Dent's storyline and transformation into Two-Face was unfortunately rushed, and nothing about his character screamed threatening to Batman or Gotham City. I'd even take Scarecrow over Two-Face from The Dark Knight in terms of more satisfying villain. The Batman, on the other end, seems to be pulling out all the stops when it comes to Batman's rogue galleries of incredible villains. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, and Colin Farrell as Penguin are all set to make their presence known in the Batman. There are even reports that even more villains will be present in a crime-infested Gotham City. It seems crazy that it's been this long, but the world's greatest detective will finally get to showcase his true detective skills on the big screen. But circling back, the only way a Batman villain could possibly compare to Heath Ledger's Joker is a dark and disturbed take on the Riddler. As a massive Batman fan, this version of Paul Dano's Riddler is something we've never seen before. The reveal of Paul Dano and his full Riddler costume will be low-key one of the biggest movie experiences of my life. I doubt we'll get any kind of tease of that until the movie comes out, but this fresh take on Batman's biggest foes makes this one to watch out for. The number 3 reason why the Batman will be better than The Dark Knight is the action scenes.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Can we just see that one more time? Come on. Let's be honest, the fight choreography in The Dark Knight, in fact the entire trilogy, was really short and mediocre. Batman's fighting was stiff due to a rigid suit that did not bode well for making Batman quick and deadly. It typically led to his fighting style to be more up close, including lots of grabbing and punching. It wasn't until Batman vs Superman when we finally saw Batman's fighting style unlock to its potential. For all the problems BVS suffered from, Batfleck's fighting style was beautiful. I cannot wait to see the action sequences in the Batman. It's no secret that Matt Reeves is going for a more agile and brutal fighting style with the Batman. Judging from the trailer, Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to be tough and bring that same punch, pun intended, that we've seen from the John Wick films. That's right, Robert Pattinson has been training with Rigon Machado, an 8th degree red and black belt trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The same guy who trained with Keanu Reeves during the John Wick movies. He's also worked with guys like Vin Diesel and Charlie Hunnam for other films as well. If that doesn't get your Batman blood boiling, nothing will. Let's go on to number 4. The number 4 reason why the Batman will be better than The Dark Knight is Bruce's arc. As great as The Dark Knight was, it was a film that worked best within a trilogy and honestly ended on a low point for our favorite caped crusader. What makes Batman so interesting is how relatable he can be. Batman's arc is so amazing because it's about turning the trauma of this guy's brutal childhood into a symbol of hope and optimism while fighting a surrounding environment that breathes death and despair. Bruce Wayne's arc in the Dark Knight trilogy is a coming-of-age story that is flat-out tragic. He deals with this childhood trauma, he finds true love, he gets rejected, he grows up, he acts like an adult, then he loses the girl anyway. Robert Pattinson has a steep uphill climb to best Christian Bale, a superhero that is both complex as he is fragile. He'll also be much less experienced than Christian Bale's Batman on screen. He'll be immature and prone to mistakes with himself and around others. In The Batman, Bruce Wayne's intelligence and detective skills will be put to the test as a developing superhero. The Batman will be the first of a new Batman trilogy built around a very young and flawed hero. For me personally, I'm extremely excited to see the new directions Matt Reeves will be able to take the Caped Crusader between the ears rather than between the fists. Let's get to my number 5. The number 5 reason why the Batman will be better than The Dark Knight is the world building. Right now, the Batman is slated to exist in its own universe outside of the more general DC Extended Universe. However, both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are set to reprise their roles as the Caped Crusader in the upcoming Flash film, leaving some to question as to what state the DC multiverse will be in after that film. Could there be a larger plan in place that will eventually pull Robert Pattinson into the DCEU? The concept of building up Batman's greatest foes from the ground up is incredibly intriguing. We know that a spin-off TV series is already in development that will serve as a prequel to this film. It will reportedly show how Gotham is transformed into a corrupt and criminal-run city. Matt Reeves is developing the show for HBO Max. What could the Batman mean for other TV shows like Terry McGinnis or even Batman Beyond? There is no doubt the Batman will serve as the stepping stone for a bigger universe. For all those reasons, the world building presented in The Batman will be immense and incredibly layered. So those are my top 5 reasons why the Batman will be better than The Dark Knight. Do you agree or disagree with my list? Are you excited for the film? Please let us know in the comment section below, and please be sure to subscribe. This is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Stay awesome.